doing? This is, of course, Shop Culture, and once again, I'm always joined by, you know who it is, the relationship guru, Mr. / Dr. James R. Hill. And of course, myself, Barry Crosby. Man, what a week. We had a week.
How's everybody doing? It's been a great week. We woke up, we're healthy, and all the madness that's going on, we're staying healthy. As a precaution, I took my COVID-19 test, which came back negative. Mm-hmm. Barry came back negative. We're staying safe.
And that's why we're so close.
Yeah. Doing the best we can. So I suggest you guys do the same. So.
Wait, sound. Hold on 1 second. So the sound is.
Can you guys hear us? Let us know if you can hear us. Put a comment in there if you can hear us.
No, that's not bad. Yeah.
Flashing. So flashing.
Not flashing.
Okay, it's solid.
Okay. I think everybody. No, we're back. Can everybody hear us? We're good to go.
Okay. Like we were saying, we want you guys to all stay safe. We've been taking our precautions, social distancing, and, staying around just people we know where they've been. We both tested negative for COVID-19. That's a blessing. Uh-huh. Hope you guys are all staying safe.
Actually, yes. Please stay safe, especially when we got the flu season coming up and coming on. So there's a lot going on, but I mean, like Dr. James said, please stay safe. Let's keep it moving. Let's start it. How was your weekend?
My weekend was great. I had a good weekend. It was low key. Got a lot of rest. Did a little celebrating the life of some friends and things like that. Mm-hmm. It was a good weekend all around.
Yeah, man.
How about yourself?
My weekend was cool, man. Like I said, I always it's interesting, man. With the COVID going on. Cause back in the day, I used to see you up at the cigar lounge. We used to do a lot of the Smoky Joe's. If you guys don't know about Smoky Joe's, you smoke cigars. That is like, for all the cigar smokers, that's like our heaven, right?
Right, absolutely.
Okay. And so now we're kind of stuck in this, where you go. You know what I'm saying? So ever since that, we've been just kind of on the chill note. So this weekend was chill. I was trying to get to a movie. I still got to get to a movie because that's what I like to do. Let's go to movies, whatnot.
I just don't trust movie theaters now.
Why not? You got social distance. You got plenty.
Right, but you don't know who sat in that seat before you. Is it clean?
Well, if you go to a restaurant, you can say the same thing, right?
Right. Well, I mean, it's a little more visibility in a restaurant.
Yeah.
There's health department standards in a restaurant, not in a movie theater. So.
True. Well, and you really do hope that everybody's taking the precautions that's necessary, right? Or when you visit your local barbershop, of course, we always try to take as much precaution as we can. So, okay, man, we got to get to it, man. We're giving you guys a couple minutes of that runaround, but we got to get down to the main deal today. Actually, people always getting after me when I post these things, right? Again,
right. People
don't realize is that the people. These are actually people that send me this, and they're like, "Hey, post it on Shop Culture," because they want to hear, basically, what people would say about certain memes.
Right.
So, Tuan, real quickly, can we put up that quick meme?
Yeah, man, not a problem. Give me 2 seconds, and let's go ahead and check out, what this is.
We got a lot of traction on this today. Some positive, some negative, some that just weren't worth mentioning at all. But we want to hear your thoughts on this, and this is something that needs to be talked about because there's different sides to it. What's your take on it, Barry?
I think what I was kind of, people were making a lot of assumptions about this meme, right? They were just jumping down the throat of what it said, and to me, they're making a lot of assumptions in terms of either the woman is abused,
right?
And I'm like, well, how can you tell that? And it's like, well, she had 2 black eyes. Did it look like she had black eyes?
Not at all.
How can you tell that from that meme?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Not at all.
Or they're saying that there was some type of abuse somehow. Or my take was, if that's that woman's choice of whether or not she wants to do that, let it be her choice.
Right. How do you feel about, we want to hear you guys' comments. How do you feel about a woman saying that if she has a man, or if a man has a woman, he shouldn't have to wash his clothes, he shouldn't have to cook or clean, and she feels that's totally her duty? Now, my spin on it, there's more of a backstory to it, because there's certain things, that this is just pointing out the gender role of the female. But the male also has his gender role, and there's things that he's taking care of. He's protecting the house. He's nurturing and upbringing the kids along with her and showing them a positive way of life. He's providing direction for that house, providing financially, as she is too. It all brings value, and if she sees that's the way she brings value to that relationship, then that's her part. And that frees her man up to do other things. Sure, he has duties around the house. I mean, a lot of families think, okay, the man takes care of the outside, the women take care of the inside. And it works fine for them, but it doesn't work fine for everyone. Some men cook, some men like to cook. I like to cook when I want to cook, you know. Mm-hmm. But for a woman to say, this is how I take care of my man, I'm not going to stop her from that. How do you guys feel about that?
You know, even if she made a blanket statement like she made, that's still just her opinion.
Right.
Should we jump down her throat because it's an opinion?
Right. And a lot of people are jumping into the negative connotation that she's being oppressed, she's being abused, or she's being forced to do these things. But this just may be an expression of her love. What do you guys think? I mean, does that make sense? If that's the way she expresses her love, and that's her mate's love language, hey, let her do that. Because what's not being mentioned on the backside is what he's doing and providing for her.
And we don't know that.
Right.
And let's say we took the woman out of this and put a man in that place.
Yeah.
How many of you women would call out that man, or you would say he's such a good man?
Yeah. Is he such a good man? Because he cooks and does the clothes
and doesn't complain.
Right.
So now we kind of, saying, I just think that sometimes, again, we make a lot of assumptions about things without really knowing the backstory of it.
Right. And if a man was doing that, is a woman going to take on the other gender roles? Is she going to make sure the gutters are clean, that the lawn is trimmed, that the cars are washed and serviced and safe?
I'll go get gas and
so it's gender roles and what works in your relationships.
But it also comes down to your relationship.
Exactly.
And just because somebody has a relationship that might be different than yours, again, doesn't mean they're oppressed.
Right.
It just means that they have a different relationship.
And it works for them.
Have open relationships.
It works for them.
That might not work for me, but it works for them.
Right. What do you guys think?
Deb Brooks said, if you're in it, be in it. Forget all the extra. Do what makes you satisfied and what you need to do. Katrina Williams said, she doing everything. Dev said,
wait.
Dick is not a chore and we're not expecting you to clean the floors. So there's a few different takes on it. Josh Milam, appreciate you watching, man. He said, if you want to live in the past, that's how some people lived with a one-income household. But in this day and age, women want equal rights. But to put a woman in that situation and say this is what she wants, you're crazy. She looks completely unhappy.
How does she look unhappy? Do you see that, Doctor?
I don't see that she looks unhappy. It looks to me that she's trying to make a point, and she's trying to share what works for her with other women, and saying, this is where I bring value to my relationship.
Absolutely.
She may work outside of the home as well. A man works outside of the home, but he does other things. He makes sure the cars are serviced. He's working in the yard. He's cleaning the gutters. He's taking the garbage out. So it's a team effort thing. If she does her work inside of the house, he does his outside of the house. If that works for you, it's not a thing that makes you unhappy. If that makes her happy, maybe that makes her happy to see that she provides those things for her man.
And are we telling her that she should not be happy doing what she's doing? Isn't that us taking on what she's thinking? That might make her happy.
Right.
That's actually a good point, Barry. Josh Milam said, we are shooting for equality. There isn't supposed to be that's a man's job or that's a woman's job.
No,
But that's
and
not-
you're right about that. There's no man's job, woman's job, but certain roles are taken on in relationships.
That's just
And it comes down to what works for you. And I mean, some people classify them as gender roles. You don't have to classify them as gender roles.
but that's what it is.
Right.
It's no way around it.
Yeah.
We can
Okay.
am I being honest?
You're being honest.
What woman?
I respect that.
I mean, most women will tell you, I want a strong man. Isn't that a gender?
Right. Okay, so to you women watching, what is a strong man? And to you fellas that are watching, what is a strong woman?
Yeah.
And where does she bring value?
And that's what we're saying. Like you always said in previous weeks when we discuss relationships, we're always talking about value. And that's just being honest. We're in a relationship. We're in a relationship to find the value, right? Between us. What's going to make us happy or compatible with each other?
Exactly.
That's called value.
Right. And if that's her strength and she enjoys doing that and does it well, let her do it. She may tell him, have him help cook, tell him to wash the chicken, and he got it in dish soap. You know, that, because that's not his strength.
Let me ask you just real quickly. Have you had a lot of women tell you that they like alpha male?
Yes, I have.
Okay. I was wondering because is that gender?
That's gender.
Okay.
That's a gender role. And an alpha male. I mean, because the male is the physically stronger of the species.
Should be.
Should be. Good point.
Come on, Doc.
Because we're all not.
Come on, Doc. We're on tonight.
Yo, guys, Katrina Williams said, I agree if it's an expression of love. I agree, it is an expression of love. She isn't doing these things because she has to, because she wants to.
Absolutely, Katrina. You hit the nail on the head. She wants to do it, and it brings value, and she is shown appreciated, and she feels appreciated. More important than a man saying, oh, I'm showing you appreciation, it may not be in the way that she feels appreciated. But if she's feeling appreciated and it's bringing value, baby, do your thing. Maybe she's looking at it as, why should my man focus on these things, which are essential needs of his, when he could be focusing on other things that also bring value?
And at the end of the day, if they're compatible and they feel like that helps bring the value to their relationship, who are we to distract from that and criticize it?
Right.
There was a lot of criticism on there.
Right. But it's not oppression. It's not abuse.
And let's be a little bit, before we start labeling something, right? Let's actually have the term right.
Yeah.
She didn't have no black eyes. I'm sorry.
Yo, Miss Nicole Johnson, thank you so much for tuning in. Nicole said, divide and conquer is making a list of household responsibilities and divide them according to what works for them. If she is a stay-at-home mom or a partner homemaker, then I can see that being fair. If both of them work, then that is a different story. I still believe in the divide and conquer method in any household, man and woman, man and man, woman and woman.
Right. Absolutely. And it's what works for you. I agree with that, Nicole. And you divide it up as who is better at doing what. Who has greater strength at certain things. And that's where it brings value. Because if I try to do something that I'm not good at, all my whites in the laundry are coming out pink, and it just goes downhill from there.
Yeah.
I mean, if I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Some men do know how to do their laundry, how to cook, but all don't. Some women were reared that way by their moms and they were taught that thing. Some men were, some weren't. In our generation, more kids were raised by mothers, single mothers, than having a mother and a father in the home.
And keep going, Dr. Hill, my bad.
And regardless if the mother and father are not in the home, if the father, more often than not, that's not in the home, any child in their upbringing needs that positive male influence in their life. Not to say, because a woman cannot make a boy into a man. What do you guys think? You agree with that or not?
Well, Katrina Williams said that abuse is not just physical, Barry.
Absolutely. and we can say mental, but are we making assumptions when we watch that meme, right? There was a lot of words thrown out in regards to abuse without nobody knowing the background of that.
Right.
That's all I was saying.
All right, Miss Karen Hill, how you doing?
Miss Hill.
Well, if she doesn't enjoy doing it and the man doesn't carry his weight in the household chores, then who the hell is supposed to do it?
Well, this is why I guess we have a lot of single people, right? Is that correct? What?
Right. It's supposed to get done, and we're supposed to meet on some kind of common ground and see that it gets done. Who usually has the strengths of organizational skills or whatever the case may be, if it's paying bills, if it's doing laundry, if it's cleaning the gutters, if it's organizing something as far as activities. Whoever has those strengths should do it. If they can't do it, then there needs to be a conversation around that.
And that comes down to responsibility, right?
Right.
Two adults being responsible enough to have that discussion and being honest with each other, which you probably should have in the dating phase of things, right?
Right. But things like this usually don't come up in the dating phase. This is more in
That's the issue.
the cohabitation. When you start to cohabitate, then you want to lay your strengths out. I have strengths in one area, but I have greater strengths in this area. So let me focus on this. But if you need help, that's where your mate is supposed to always be there to help you if you need help. And that goes both ways.
Okay.
One thing Miss Virgin Rosa said, my husband does it all, and I appreciate that he never expects anything. He works, pays the bills, cooks, cleans, and takes care of his son too.
Ooh.
So there's a shining example of a role reversal in comparison to that meme of the man that's doing
Okay,
it.
so is that abuse, women?
Is he oppressed?
Josh, is he oppressed?
I mean,
Does he got black eye? Well, does he?
and I commend that man for doing those
He's doing a
things.
lot.
And
Stay with him.
and appreciate that man.
Yeah.
Make sure he feels appreciated. Don't just show him your appreciation in your way. Make sure that he feels appreciated.
Mr. Josh Milam, I feel like if it needs to be done, I'm not going to wait for her to do it. I'm going to do it because it needs to be done. My opinion, she doesn't look happy in the photo.
You could interpret her facial expression in several different ways. She could be focused and trying to get her point across, but the key is she's trying to get a point across that this is the way it should be. That's her view.
Opinion.
So now to your comment as to you see it needs to be done, I'm just going to do it. How long does that last? How long does that go on? If she continues to see you just doing things that need to be done and then takes just a lackadaisical approach and just lets you do things, kind of takes it for granted, how long does that go on?
And are you going to be satisfied and happy with continuing that process?
Right. Now, do you get gratification for that? If you do your thing.
Talk to him. That's why he's a dog.
Guys, that meme was awesome, and so was the picture, but we got a couple of other questions too. One of them is, would you date your friend's ex?
Yeah, we're going to have to get on that topic.
Yeah.
That topic was,
But do we need to address any more comments on the last topic?
I think we got it. Yeah.
But our next topic is it okay to date the ex of a friend of yours?
Or when is it okay?
Yeah. Is it okay? And if it is, when is it? If it's not, why is it not? We're going to get into that to a minute. Do we have any other comments on that last topic?
No, you know what? We just got one last one. No, and that's from Katrina Williams, Miss Karen Hill. They already started on this. Would you date your friend's ex?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, let's get into that. Let's move
Katrina
on.
said, heck no.
At all.
She said, heck no. Karen said, and vice versa. If the woman does the same, how long is that woman going to continue in that manner? That was continuing from yours, Barry.
Which one?
It took a second. If the roles were reversed and vice versa, if the woman does the same, how long is that woman going to continue in that manner?
Yes, absolutely. And I agree.
Right. And if it doesn't bring gratification for her to do those things, it's not sustainable.
It's not at all.
Yeah. So
and one person is going to feel, unsatisfied.
Right.
Because that's one of the things I always hear in the shop, right? When guys come in and it's something, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I always got to do this. That's
Right.
what, right? You always hear that when somebody's talking sometimes and they're kind of frustrated. The frustration comes in. They're like, I always got to do, that's what I always got to do. So you're right. I think it gets to a point. You have to have it where you guys have dual responsibility and find a common ground on that.
Right. And usually men and women take on tasks and tackle tasks in a different way. So if he's doing something or if she's doing something and it's not the way that you would do it, you can't attack them for that. Mm-hmm. You have to let them use their own methods to complete a task. I mean, you're looking for the end result, but don't expect it to be done the way you would do it.
Absolutely. Teamwork is the dream work.
Makes it.
Okay. So, we are going to say, would you date your friend's ex? And this one was interesting because I think a lot of people were saying no, right?
Hell no.
And hell no, right?
Hell no. Henry Jones, what's up, Henry?
What's up, man?
What's up, man?
Karen, it is never okay.
Never okay.
Karen, if it happens, the friend has always wanted your ex.
Do you think that?
I'm not sure. Josh Milam, you don't date friends' exes. I mean, you can smash, but you can't date.
Ooh.
So that's
valid idea.
That's some sneaky undercutting. If you're just gonna smash and not date, well, okay.
Katrina said, "What if your friend marries? Then is it okay to date their ex?" Like, we got a whole lot of candidates in here, man.
Right. Let's explore that.
Okay.
Say you have a friend, they're together, okay, they break up. You remain friends with both of them.
Ooh, yes.
2, 3, 4, 5 years goes down the road, one of them remarries.
Uh-huh.
You're still friends, and you take it to the next level and you start to date them. Do you go and talk to them first and out of respect and say, hey, me and your ex are talking about taking it to the next level. Are you cool with that? There's usually an unwritten rule that you just don't go there. And even if you're talking to someone and it comes up in conversation, oh yeah, I used to be with this person and that's a friend of yours, that's an immediate red flag. And you just back off from there as like it's your brother, because I treat my friends like my brothers. So.
Well, okay, I guess the first question, are these your friends or are they your associates? Because friends, I had to put a definition on friends and associates. Because those are two different things.
Good point.
You know what I'm saying? And me and my buddy were actually talking about this. If I kick it with you, it's like once in a while, right?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. That's not really your associate. You're not really my friend, right?
Right.
But my time and need, and you're my guy.
Yeah.
That's a totally different thing.
Right.
And I always say this is my point of it. If I'm in need, what I call you. That's how I can kind of determine where our friendship is at,
right,
or whether or not I would even go down that route.
Okay. So you're saying kind of like the friend or best friend type thing. So an associate is just someone that you see in social events, and every now and then you guys chop it up. You may meet at the Domino's table. You may see him at the cigar bar, but you don't sit down and break bread with him.
You don't break bread with him.
And
so how do you determine? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Not only that is, the older you get, kind of isn't the pool a little smaller too, especially in Seattle?
Oh, absolutely.
So to sit there and say that you ain't going to date somebody's...
Right. And it does happen. And then there's other situations to where you could get into a relationship with someone and be seeing them for months and months, and then you meet up with a friend that you haven't seen in a while and said, oh yeah, me and that person were together for an extended period of time. Where do you go from there? I mean, things like that happen. I connect with friends that are close friends of mine that I haven't seen in a couple of years. So if that happens to someone else and now you're with the person that they used to be with, how do you handle that situation? I mean, it's not intentional, but do you go by the unwritten rule? Do you cut it off because this is your friend's ex? Or are we talking about?
And are you talking about, are they girlfriend and boyfriend too? Isn't that different?
Yeah,
if they're just dated.
No. I mean, if they've been together, they're in a committed relationship for over 6 months. You run into a friend of yours from a couple of years ago, and you say, "Okay, yeah, we were together for 3 years. This person and me." So do you break it off and say, "Oh, you used to be with my friend. We can't do this out of respect for your friend," or do you just say, "Oh well, it happened. I didn't know." Or when we say dating someone's ex, is it an intentional thing? And were you fully aware that this is your friend's ex? You broke bread with them. You went on trips. You've done social things together. Now they break up, and you're with them.
Yeah, that's a totally different deal.
Right. But essentially it lays out the same because you're dating their ex. But did you have knowledge of it?
You had a lot of knowledge of it. You guys, and you just don't care.
Right. What do you guys think?
Keith Samuel said friends are off limits forever. Miss Karen Hill co-signed right on Keith's and said, I know for a fact I would not date none of my friends' exes. They are an ex for a reason.
Well,
right? Yeah, they're an ex for a reason for that person.
Not for the
But I mean, and then for someone to go after someone after you've known, I mean, if they were both friends of yours while they were together and they split up, and now you go after them, well, then the thought always comes to mind, well, were they interested in them when we were together?
Probably.
Were they flirting? Had they hooked up while we were together? Or was it the case? Or you can even take it to the next level. If you're...
Can we visit that?
Okay.
More than likely, they were thinking about your friend.
Right.
Let's be honest about it.
Right. Because they're jumping on it. It's an opportunity they saw that you two broke up, and now here's their opportunity. You guys see that as the case?
You had that ever happen to you? Like when you broke up and the lady's friends kind of start hitting you up on the under?
I've had that, and I've had some of mine who I thought were friends hitting up on my exes.
Hey man, it's a doggy dog world, bro.
Right. And they come to me and say, you need to talk to your boy. That's not your boy like you think that's your boy.
They always say that.
Right.
They don't say how they kind of still talking or...
I didn't entertain that.
You didn't entertain
because
that?
it was an ex, and that's water under the bridge. So thanks for the info.
So you're telling me you weren't upset a little bit?
No.
You felt some type of way?
I felt some type of way about my boy because I thought higher of him, and now he's going to do this, so, I know the nature of our relationship now. I feed him a long handled spoon,
Huh. So you weren't in your feelings, like, even about her? Like, you like, damn, you don't...
No.
So when you're ex, you're just X'd out. That's what it's kind of...
Yeah, it's water under the bridge. Not going to cross under that bridge again, so...
Interesting. Twan, what we got?
Man. Miss Jovita actually is catching up on the conversation, so she's trying to get in and figure out what's going down. Meanwhile, Josh said that, they could be venting and take advantage of the situation.
Venting, when you say, so I see where they think you're a friend and they're venting to you and they see that you're in a vulnerable situation and take advantage of it. Well, that's not a friend.
Oh, they do that a lot. Guys.
Right, yeah, that happens a lot.
Oh, yeah. Guys with that undercover hating.
All right,
yeah,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Talk about that one time you guys went out and you came home at 3.
I was drunk. We were drinking.
Yeah, man.
That's always the case, but not an excuse. You made a conscious decision to do what you did. So.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, Katrina said that she would wish him the best.
Okay, Katrina, but would you expect your friend to come to you prior and say, I'm interested in them? Are you cool with that? I feel a real friend will come to you and say, we met, I saw him, we talked, it might go further. How you feel about that? Because at the end of the day, you should put your friendship with this person that goes back however long it goes before any potential relationship or hookup or anything with their ex that could go bad in a short period of time. Then you've wrecked your relationship with your friend that you've had for a long time.
But have you ever had a friend hit you up and ask, could they date one of your exes? Have you ever had that happen? Let's think long down the line and kind of think about that.
I have.
How many? So maybe one time, couple times.
Okay. Couple times.
All the women you dated, right? Hypothetically, of course.
We're not going there.
Okay, no, I'm just saying. That's why I said hypothetically, right?
Okay.
So maybe 2.
Okay. Yeah.
People don't do that, right?
Right.
I listen.
And
That's why everybody said they wouldn't date exes and stuff. Like, okay, if you say so.
Right. And it's the unwritten rule, though. You just don't go after that. But at the 2 times that the guys came to me and said, "Well, yeah, I felt hurt," and I was like, "Really? You would really ask me that? How long have you been wanting to do that?" And then once I think deeper about it, I said, "Well, I don't have feelings for her. If you guys want to do that, I'm cool with it. But then, as a friend, I'm going to let you know this is what you're getting into.
Whoa.
This is what you got to look forward to."
Wait.
I'm going to clue him in. This is what
you can't do that.
Why not?
You can't do that.
It's
Doctor.
Why not?
Doctor.
Why not?
So you would hate what you would hate?
No, I would give him my truth.
Wow. Woo! Doctor. Do you guys agree with that? That you would basically fill your buddy in with the 411 because
on what you're getting into.
But that's like airing dirty laundry, though.
No, that's after I tell him, yeah, I don't have no feelings for her. I moved on. Now, that's another question. Is it a certain amount of time? Say 10 years goes by, and you've been married for about 5, you've moved on, and now this is a longtime friend of yours. Say, you remember this person you dated 10 years ago? Well, me and her recently linked up, and, we're kind of feeling each other. So is it a time thing?
First of all, it might be a time thing, but first of all, you can't air the dirty laundry. You can't do that because it goes both ways, right? Well, I wouldn't want somebody airing my, you know what I'm saying?
Well, see, if this
somebody might be able to change too. So
if this is a friend of mine and he's friend enough to come to me respectfully and say, "Look, I want to know how you feel about me dating this ex."
Okay.
Now, truly, I don't have feelings for her. It took you a lot of courage to come to me.
Okay.
Okay, I don't have feelings for her. If that's what you want to do, that's what you do. But I am your friend. We friends. And I'm just going to let you know this is what you're up against with that. I'm not going to hate. I'm not going to throw shade. I'm going to give him my truth. And he can make his decision from there.
Woo. Swan.
Yo, man. Oof. That's a lot to digest over there, man. Man, oh man. Appreciate that one. Good God. I mean, Katrina put it real simple. I would expect them to come to me. If they didn't, then I wouldn't know what kind of friend they are.
There you go. It's a matter of respect.
V, my best friend dated a guy that had a crush on me, but before we were best friends. Seattle has a very small black population, so that might happen, like you were talking about, Barry. It's a real small kind of a footprint, if that's what you're into.
Well, yeah. I guess if you're looking within the community, too.
Right.
So you expand it outside the community.
Very true.
Elaborate on that.
ShopKulture, man.
Thanks y'all for tuning in. It's
Yo.
getting good.
Y'all heathens. Yo,
you see how it gets ugly?
Yeah.
I called him out about, hey, you see what he do? Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. You dodged that bullet, huh?
Man, the fifth quick, didn't he? Like he was on the stand.
Okay.
Yo, y'all heathens. Yo, thank you so much for joining. Brothers, at the end of the day, they really just wanted to smash, and they've been looking at each other the whole time, and their spirit been intertwined from doing so.
That's not okay. I wouldn't say that's always true because sometimes things develop outside and you don't even see it coming.
Right.
Sometimes it comes from, I always say, the left field. sometimes it's just a vibe, and sometimes you have that one night, and things lead to one,
But out of knowing that person, when they're with your friend, do you think that a certain level of attraction developed over time, being that you just got to know them as your friend's mate?
Well,
and view them in a way of, I could get with this person if.
Well, I think men and women see it differently too. Because men, we just see them like, probably more of a physical thing. The woman's probably seeing the whole aspect of how you interacted, your vibe, your swag.
So you're putting men that shallow as just the physical thing, huh?
Most times.
Really?
We're not really.
Is that the general consensus? So then
I'm not saying me and you are not shallow, but
right. But you're saying the general consensus of men in general.
Well, James, really?
So I mean, one of the comments did say, "Oh yeah, we'll smash, but we won't date."
I'm just going on. So you see what I just said? Okay, case in point.
So right? That's the physical thing, But I mean, that's kind of shallow, if you ask me. Kind of shallow, but
actually, that same guy, Mr. Josh, had something else to say, and honestly, it's another off-kilter point, but it's kind of reality. Josh said that, that person's a hater. Like he said, she might not been right for him, but you gonna say, go ahead, and then hate on her. Yeah, you can go ahead and date the homie, and then you gonna literally just talk trash about her. Is that a reality?
No, now you guys are saying talk trash, and that's the same thing you said, throw shade and hate on her. But
you said telling your truth. So
my truth.
Is that a positive? Your truth?
For me, it wasn't. But I'm giving it to you the way it is. I'm laying the cards face up on the table. This is what I dealt with. This is what happened that I couldn't deal with. Maybe you can deal with it, but this is what it is. I'm not going to.
A couple things you can say. Well, she was crazy. Well, okay.
There's several things.
There we go.
I mean, we've all seen that type of deal where the dude is like, "Hey, let me holler at you," and after she says no, he starts dogging her all kinds of out. Have you guys seen that?
Right.
Is that not kind of the same scenario? You know, you can go ahead and hook up with the homie. You ain't squat.
Right.
I can see that happening.
Oh, I didn't think about that, dog.
But yeah, and a man does that because he's embarrassed, so he wants to share his embarrassment, and try to talk down to her, and because he can't accept rejection.
But in the same token, women do it too, though. Women hate on the dude that. They broke up, and all of a sudden he was a 2-minute man. All of a sudden, and they're throwing all the laundry.
Right, he had the pencil
but you're with him for 2.5 years.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it goes both ways.
It happens, and that's a delicate balance to try not to do that. And when people do that, there's still some deep-seated feelings
they want
for that person, and essentially they don't want to see anyone else with them.
Yeah.
But if you can just tell your truth the way it was, and it be received from this person from non-biased. These are the facts. This is what I dealt with. Maybe you can deal with a pill addict. I couldn't. Maybe she had self-esteem issues and serious possessiveness and jealousy. Maybe you can deal with that. I couldn't. That was the truth. I mean, you're not. If that's what you went through, you're just letting them know this is what I went through. I couldn't deal with it. Maybe you can. Good luck.
Well, they're gonna find out anyway. So that's why I said you don't. That's a delicate balance because you don't. I don't know. I just always feel like, hey, if you're both consenting adults, if that's what you guys want at that time, you figure it out.
Right. Or you won't, or it won't get figured out.
But it'll probably get figured out. You know what I'm saying? You can't hide stuff like that.
Right. But then it comes down to what level of attraction did they have when you were with that person? And just they felt out of respect then they couldn't act on the attraction that they felt for that person because they were with you. But then it was like if they weren't with them, they might even whisper to you. If you weren't with him, it happens,
Which one do you think is a little sneakier on that, men or women?
I can't say. I'm gonna leave that one. What do you guys think? Who's sneakier? I don't.
I think dudes are sneakier, but I think women do it better. They get away with it
because men get
often.
caught. Men get caught.
We're just not good liars,
and that's why
we're just
we're bad.
We are.
Yeah.
That's why don't cheat.
Yeah, don't lie. I don't lie because I'm painfully honest. I may have flipped the other side because I'm painfully honest. So, because sometimes truth hurts. So, yeah, I can't remember the lies. So, I don't waste brain space. I'm trying to.
Okay.
Yo, y'all said that it's never going to be a positive report because all they have to report on, and the only report they have to build off, is of the past, with that person. So whatever they're going to tell the homie, it's not going to be the most positive thing.
It's always going to be. That's what I'm saying. It's always. That's why you might not want to be hating, but you are kind of hating because you're not going to tell them the positives of it. You ain't going to tell them that, yeah, she's,
Right, you
blanky,
probably
blanky,
won't,
blank.
but you're going to give the reasons of why you're not together anymore. Yeah.
So when you tell, if you were part of the reason why you're not, would you tell that truth too, or you just tell the truth away?
Well, usually a man doesn't realize that till a long time down the road, till you can self-reflect and say,
Hey, listen, I can be honest with myself. I'm shitty.
Yeah.
I mean, what more do you want me to say?
Okay, well, do you say that up front in
Yeah.
dating? I'm an asshole. I'm just a dick. I'm a prick. I'm obnoxious. I'm selfish.
Well, damn, I didn't go on that.
Yeah, a whole list.
Damn. Am I dating James? James, yeah.
I mean, but those are usually the sticking points. That a woman. Are you just gonna come out and say that, or are you gonna wait 3 months down the road and let her say it?
I will always say this: the person you're dating currently always sees you in the best light. How about that?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Is that true?
Right. So that light starts shining brighter, and both feet hit the ground. So.
Oh, so you're saying honeymoon?
Right. Infatuation, honeymoon, physical attraction.
Sometimes the planets align.
Right? Okay. They do, and that's a beautiful thing.
Come on.
I
That's
love
only
to see
because we
people together.
subtracted one from the math.
When you have that, you haven't found your queen yet, John.
That's the only
The
reason.
voice
the
hasn't found
planets
his
is
queen.
alive, man.
Right.
That's all right, man. I'll keep looking.
She's out there. It
Cool.
takes patience.
You
But I
have-
love to see people together. I love to see people come together. I love to see their love grow. And you just need to put certain things in effect. And you just have to have the right tools and be right with yourself before you can yoke with someone else. That's all I have to say
Very true.
about that.
That's good.
Very true.
That's why he's the doctor. Book is available soon. I'll tell you guys.
I'm working on it.
Come on.
So,
Transition.
we're going to segue a little bit, and we're going to ask a question. I want to hear your comments. A lot of you have been through this, have experienced it. There's been positive outcomes, there's been negative outcomes, but is it a good idea to date a coworker? What do you think, Barry?
Yeah. If I was in that space, I'm fortunate. I work in a male dominant, so I don't have to worry about that.
Okay, but what would you see the pros and the cons of, say, someone working in an office environment, in a grocery store environment, or whatever the case may be? What would be the pros and cons of dating a coworker?
Well, hey, you got to see him every day. So I don't know if it's going bad, right? That's difficult, right? To
Right.
do your job effectively if there's an interaction going on.
Right. I mean, they have a job.
They have a job. I guess that's a positive,
Yeah.
right? But again, when it goes bad, and there's co-workers, is it a boss? Is it not a boss? You know what I'm saying? It's all types of things that can go wrong
Right.
with that.
There's a lot of
Does
different
it affect
levels.
your job quality, right?
Right. But I mean, you can get another job, you can get another relationship, but do you want your relationship to be the cause of you having to get another job?
No. Would
Right.
you?
Right. No. Okay. So
And you're in a management position, so how would that work for you, right?
it wouldn't work well for me.
Exactly.
I mean, if I was to date someone on my level, on my same level, anyone, if you're to date someone on your same level, well, yes, it's good in the honeymoon stage, but if you get in an argument and you come to work, if you get in an argument, you may need a cool off space for a day. Now you come to work and you're sharing this negative vibe around the office, and everybody's picking up on that. What's going on with you two? There may be rules at some jobs against dating co-workers, and you're trying to hide it. Now, if you're a person...
That'd be fun.
That'd be fun?
You don't think so?
Well, what if you're a person that's affectionate, that expresses your feelings physically with public displays of affection and things like that.
You can't wait till after the job.
And if that's your way of expression, you can wait till after the job, but you haven't to suppress that. And
I guess I don't follow that one, because to me, you have to put things in perspective. This is your livelihood, right?
Right.
And I'm just because I might want to do so. There's a lot of things I want to do.
Right. But if you're a person that expresses yourself through these ways, public displays of affection, PDAs, and you're a touchy-feely, that's the way you connect with the person, and now you have to suppress that because you're at the job. I mean, how's that going to work?
Well, guys, we'll let you guys kind of answer that. Yeah, let us know. I guess I'm for it, I guess. Somebody did ask me, would I date a client? You know, I never thought of it.
And then what was your response to that?
I said I never have.
Oh, okay. That's probably a good thing. That's the right answer. Okay, because I don't think it'd be a good idea. And I feel the same with like neighbors.
Yeah.
Would you date a neighbor? If you guys live in an apartment, are you going to date someone who lives in your apartment complex or close to you?
That's a good point. Yeah. Tom.
Yo, V said, I personally would not date a coworker because your professional life should stay that way and keep your private life separate. Henry Jones said, work and love don't mix. Too many underlying issues.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah, and those issues can get, because relationships are so damn difficult.
They are. And then when you bring that work dynamic into it, now you have to behave yourself. Because me, I'm kind of a different person at work because I'm in a different role at work. So if I'm dating a person at work, they're going to see me in this other role that they may not like, because this is the role I have to form, because this is my vocation. They may not like that role, which is, and I say all the time, I don't go to work to make friends. I go to work to provide a service in lieu of compensation. And I leave that when I go home. My personal life is different. My occupation is what I do. It's not who I am.
And you want to treat whoever you're dating differently.
Right. They're going to see a different me because that's what I do. Some may find it sexy. Ooh, it's sexy what he does, you know. But
are you in management and she's not, you know?
It could be that. And then in that case, now you have to really hide your relationship. So now if you break up, or if there's a domestic violence situation and she's in fear of you and goes to HR and says, I'm in fear of him.
Oh man, that follows you though. That follows, especially from a man.
Right. A simple accusation of something like that could ruin your career. Not even if she works with you, even if she doesn't work with you, but it's even if she works with you and she goes to HR and says she's in fear of her life from you, how do you think that's going to play out? Not very well. It's not going to end well for you.
Honestly, Dr. Hill, I understand that, and I understand what Barry was saying too, with the trying to be PDA and trying to keep it on the low. There are people that are very publicly affectionate. In my job, it's you're in close contact with other people. If you were to date somebody though, I mean, you're already taking your nature of being a personal, touchy type person into that work environment. And like people had, said, it's a lot of underlying issues to work through.
Right.
It really is.
And essentially, I see it's a recipe for disaster. It works for very few, but there are sacrifices that have to be made on both parts.
But you also have to look at it from a standpoint, people usually spend majority of their time at work now, right? So maybe not at this particular time, but most of the time they are at work a lot. So for them, this is their social outlet. So meeting people is probably going to be at work.
Right.
So yeah. I've heard people made it work and got married and
continued to work together.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it may work for some, but
I think that's one of those kind of 50-50 type of things, I think.
Okay.
I think that might be like that first meme where it works for some, but definitely not working for all.
I'd say more like a 80-20. I wouldn't say 50-50.
Really? You think it's 80?
I'd say 80-20, and very few are successful at that.
Really?
What do you guys think?
Henry Jones said, there goes those issues, just never know what happens in the dark.
Right. And if you are dating someone that you work with, some of those things that happen in the dark are going to come to light.
They always do, don't they?
Yeah.
And when they come,
Oh boy, that light's bright.
you know, how about if you're the boss?
Okay.
And like I said, would you, if you're the boss? Because we see that happen an awful lot. Like, boss have these relationships with people they work, you know what I'm saying, underneath them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or employees. Do we ever see that really work?
More often than not, that never works, and it ends up ending badly for the boss.
In the military, it just ends bad for everybody. Everybody losing rank.
Yeah. And I almost think that's the reason why you almost have to put those barriers in there.
Right. Yeah, you have to set barriers. Absolutely. I have never had a problem with that.
So you never dated a coworker?
Never.
Boys, anything coming up?
Yo, man, Henry Jones said that it reminds him of walking a tightrope.
Really?
It's a delicate balance. Very delicate.
V, I agree with Dr. Hill. Workplace romances don't work. I've seen things I want to unsee.
That bad, huh?
You can't unring that bell. And think about the people involved. Oh, it's even worse for them. So, I mean, you think there's a little regret in there? I wish I wouldn't have. I'll learn. This is a learning experience for me. Won't do it again.
Interesting. You know, like I said, in my job, like I said, we don't have that, but, you know, we do have clients, and we have female clients come in, and, you know, it's an interesting dynamic that goes along with that.
Okay.
You know, and sometimes, I guess...
Okay, yeah, see, you're a barber, so then there's
I wasn't trying to tell them.
okay, this is where Barry's barbershop. Get the cats out the bag. Okay, so if you have a female client that comes in and you start to chop it up or whatever, now is it a good idea for you and her to date? Is she going to want free haircuts from now on? Is that how it works? And if you say no free haircuts, then are you going to lose out on a possible life partner? Or then I'm a client at the same time?
Yeah, that's a lot to think about.
Right. So
You want to think about all that.
You don't.
You know, you want to think about the moment.
So, right.
It's the moment you want to think about, right?
So create those boundaries.
Man, so yeah, it's I don't know, man, doctor. We always say, man, you know, I guess you should never mix business with pleasure, is what they say.
Right.
Life is sometimes unexpected.
Right. My dad always told me, never get your punani where you get your paycheck, because it's going to cause you problems.
Yeah, but they used to tell me that too. And I watched a lot of those.
I listened to my dad.
I listened to him too. You know. But
Yo, V said someone at my old job was having an affair.
oh, that happens.
A baby was involved, and a person got fired.
And it goes downhill from there. Recipe for disaster. Now there's a child involved, so that's another layer. That's an added layer.
Whenever you have women and men, there's going to be sex. There's going to be something. So I mean, it is what it is. Try to use the best discretion. That's what we do.
Right.
Right. I mean, honestly.
Right. I mean, there's going to be attraction.
So yeah. So yeah, we're gonna real quick. We got a few minutes left, man. We've been trying to go through these topics. Dating in your 30s. Harder, easier. Real quick.
Well, we put this out there. I want to hear from you guys. I mean, dating over 30, is it harder, is it easier? What it comes down to initially, my humble opinion, know what you want and put it out there. Don't jeopardize your personal convictions or lower your standards, because what you want is out there. What do you think?
I guess I never looked at it as hard or easy. I just looked at it as what it is. You know, saying I was in a long-term relationship all the way until my mid-30s. So after that, I went on a binge. You know, and
so during that time, did you get set in your ways, in the way that you did things, the way that you expected things?
Yeah, I did.
So you weren't as open to change.
No, not at all, I guess.
And could that be the problem? It could be the problem.
No.
People at our age, that wasn't a problem that you weren't open to change. It wasn't a problem for you, but maybe somebody's trying to interject some change into your life. It's probably created problems for them. But see, that's the thing. When
that
we
goes
get
along with expectations, though.
Expectations, what, your expectations or their expectations?
Well, yeah,
because you're expecting someone to go into the ways that you're set in, and you're not being open to versatility, to be spontaneous, or whatever the case may be.
Should you be, though?
Why not? Have an open mind. It's about having an open mind, putting your past behind you. A lot of us, when you get past your 30s, you get set in your ways, and if you're not able to look outside yourself, put your past behind you, and look at another way of doing things, and be open to it, then you're probably going to find it hard. But if you just start with a clean slate and say, I'm open to try new things and with new people, then it probably won't be as hard for you.
For some people, I've seen it happen. People get out of a long-term relationship and they need to date around and see what exactly they want and what they like. So sometimes it's easier for them when they get out of that situation, and older they are, the more they're in tune with who they are.
Right.
And so they're able to date easier or able to do certain things, which is right. It's fine.
Right. And right, wrong, or indifferent, you're going to come across things that you're happy with and things that you're happier with. But it comes down to knowing what you want and letting that be known.
Great point, Doc. V actually said the exact same thing. She said that I hated dating in my 30s. Now that I'm older, I have certain standards. I'm in a long-term relationship, but it took a while to find the right person for me.
Congratulations. That's what it's all about.
Right. And you had the patience to wait on that.
And that's what you're supposed to do.
Didn't lower your standards and didn't, jeopardize your personal convictions.
Absolutely. Well, guys, man, we're gonna wrap it up. Dr. James Hill, any last words?
Yes, I just want to say this, that everyone wants what they want. Me, myself, I love to see people in happy, thriving relationships. A happy, thriving relationship is like building a building. And I've said this before, I'm going to say it again tonight. To build something strong, you have to start with a solid foundation. Love is a vulnerable emotion. You don't just fall in love. You have to set a foundation for love, and that foundation requires cornerstones. 4 cornerstones of a solid, loving relationship are friendship, respect, trust, and communication. When you have those 4 strong cornerstones in place, you can build a love that'll last the ages. But if you don't have those 4 elements firmly in place, you're probably not going to get to the point of a strong, life-lasting love.
Man, whoo! And guys, that's why he's the doctor, man. Book coming out soon, Dr. James R. Hill. And guys, remember, November 3rd. What's going on November 3rd?
November 3rd is a controversial election. Get out and vote. I know you've got your ballots. Get your ballot in the box. We want to see your pictures posted of that ballot going in that
and
box.
whoever you choose, that's who you choose.
That's your business. Cast that vote. It's your right.
Vote. And actually, when I said movie, I forgot to say we. Going to a movie. Somebody corrected me.
We.
Yeah,
okay.
All right.
Okay.
See?
Good luck with that.
Hey, man. Always can learn, right? Now, hey, learn it from the doc.
I'm trying to learn something every day. We love y'all. Please check out my page, Feel My Flow on Facebook. We're going to be streaming live on YouTube. Support the show. We're trying to take it to the next level. We just want to share knowledge. We want to share your comment, and we want everybody to be happy and grow in love in your relationships.
And remember to like and share ShopKulture. And remember, yes, definitely, man, we try to, put basically have conversation where we all can get something out of it. So it's not just we're posting memes just to post memes out there. We are actually trying to get dialogue and conversation, because a lot of us, this is our, you know what I'm saying, this is our only outlet, really, right? So it's not like we're just trying to be controversial and everything. We're really trying to get some positivity out there.
Right.
So once again, thank you guys for tuning in and enjoying Shop Culture.
Peace. One love.
Stay safe and be blessed.